Welcome to Eternal Manna, the daily devotional broadcast of Grace Gospel Church. We are looking at Psalm 60, and we are looking at it under the theme leadership. And yesterday we introduced the subject. Now today we want to get into the meat of what it means to be a leader. So first of all, I want to talk about the responsibilities of a leader. When you say leadership, there are privileges for sure, but more than the privileges, there are responsibilities. And in my notes, I have listed 10 responsibilities. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. You can add to it, but I want to encourage you to write it down. You can always review these devotions again and again because they come to you in recorded form, and you can pass it on to somebody else to learn about leadership from Psalm 60. So what are the responsibilities of a leader? Number one, to expand the kingdom. To expand the kingdom. Now, this, of course, sadly meant that there was going to be war, and you've got to defeat the enemies, you've got to capture their territory, and you've got to guard it and maintain it. So, in the biblical context, leadership meant that you have to expand the kingdom. And David, Joab, Abishai were all involved in war. With the intention of wiping out the enemies of God, conquering their territory, and converting it into kingdom territory, a kingdom that is marked and established by righteousness. The second important responsibility of a leader, national leader, is peace for the land. Peace for the land. If there is turmoil, if there is internal division, then there can be no prosperity. And so a leader has to ensure that there is peace in the land. He has to deal with conflict. He has to deal with disagreement. You can't sweep it under the carpet. You've got to address it. You've got to face up to the issues of the day, and you've got to have workable solutions. So, secondly, a leader is responsible for peace in the land, and very closely associated with peace would be the third responsibility: security for the country. Security. In those days, the security of a country depended upon the walls that were built around the country. The higher and thicker the walls, the greater the security for the country. So one way you defeat another nation is to breach these walls, is to bring down the walls. Remember what Nehemiah was called to do? He was called to rebuild the broken down walls of Jerusalem. In other words, he was called to establish security for the people. So a leader has to ensure that the people are living securely, with no fear. And he has to secure the borders. And that meant building these walls. Now, today for a national leader, that means you have your defense system well organized, well in place. And in every part of the world, a government spends a lot of money as the defense budget for the protection of the country, security for the land. So those are three that I want to address today, and God willing, we'll pick it up tomorrow, the other responsibilities of a leader. Amen.